Welcome to Kevin's Mobile Repair. We've got a 2014 Chevy Malibu 2.5. We have a check engine light. We had a 16CF code, which by definition has an intake rocker arm solenoid valve control circuit error. That little bad boy is right here. These are your VVTs. This is your rocker arm control valve. Basically the same thing as the VVTs. It controls a oil flow to the rocker arms. This one probably shuts them off or does another timing adjustment for them. But that is what that code is for a P16CF. It'll probably come up as an unknown on most scanners, but top of the line scanners, it'll give you that kind of information. So this is what this little bad boy looks like when it's taken off. It's just a series of two intake and exhaust control solenoids with a gasket. Now when I got this one taken off, this little plunger here just was disintegrated and just came all out. So it's a little plunger, this one right here. The other one got lost back in there somewhere, but it doesn't really matter because the new one comes with new valves and such in there. But just make sure that when you take this off, there's not one stuck inside there, because it always all kinds of hell. So the how-to: top cover comes off, that big cover right there, and it is T27 torch bits. There's 3 of them. The cover itself comes off. I didn't have to disconnect I was going to take out my air filter box, but decided to change my mind, so I got to hook all this stuff back up. But you are going to disconnect your air cleaner here. I disconnected 2 of the 3 of the PCV valve areas. This right here is held in with a 10 right back here, and you have 2 clips to hold the harness back there so that you can swing it out of the way. You can disconnect it from the back end over there, but that screw is rather hard to get to, so I just mushed it up over here out of the way just enough to give me access to the control solenoid to what I need. Because if I remove that screwdriver, it goes right back in place. Control solenoid itself, little red lock tab, push it back, press down on the connector and wiggle it loose. Then the the solenoid itself is a 10 here, long 10 in the middle, short 10 on the side, which would look like this. The new one came with new bolts, so I'm going to use those. But 10, long 10, short 10. Other than that, going back in, because it is a tight area back here, you will have to have the bolts in place before you put it down, because you're not going to be able to walk it around in that area. So you have the bolts in there, the gasket on there. At least they give you good type gasket that will just basically flip over the sides. That way it doesn't worry about rock falling down in there, because that'd be a pain in the butt. But anyways, go on there, tighten it back in, and then reassemble everything that goes back together. Clear codes. This will give you a little bit of a performance issue. It will control some timing as far as the rocker arm is concerned, but the vehicle still should be drivable. And this was an intermittent code. It was going on, coming off, back and forth, back and forth. So this is what we diagnosed it as, because it would be an intermittent issue. How to diagnose this: you have a scanner, you hook it up there and see what the current values of the rocker arm VVT solenoid would be. If it is showing in play and the vehicle is not running correctly, then you would have that kind of an issue. But this is one of those where the customer would be able to shut the car off, restart it, and it works back just fine. That's typically not a wiring issue, because a wiring issue does not fix itself when a car is restarted. That is going to be an electrical control issue, a PCM or control side. The control side, which is the solenoid valve for this, is a lot more common than a computer itself. I always want to try the cheaper the items, if anything, especially if it's an intermittent kind of issue, as a PCM is rather expensive to incorrectly diagnose it. But we are going with the valve. That is a common issue on these, just as these are just the same. They get trash stuck inside them. This old lady's also getting an oil change as well. But it'll get trash inside there. You see that spring pop out like it did. Doesn't hold in place, doesn't hold the pressure like it's supposed to. And you see part of it back in there. So, and the springs popped out. So that's why we are getting a new control valve. But any questions or comments, please feel free to let me know. Reset the check engine light, get it finished with this, do the oil change, and be good to go. Have a good day.